O'clock, so we'll call the JKL Fiduciary Committee meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Kimberly Gravel. Here. Sean Borowitz.
Here.
Lana Cowsley Smith. Here. Larry Barbo.
Here.
Kimberly Hampton. Here. Tyler LaPlante. Kimberly Lee. Bridget Sorensen. Michael McCurchie. Here. Rob McGrory. Here. Aaron Paymont. Austin Rose.
Here.
Isaac McKechnie.
Here. So we do have a quorum, and on the agenda, we have minutes from 5/12 of 26, school reports, business financials, closed session requests for a legal update, committee comments, and adjournment. Need a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion. Support.
Got a motion and support. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. Need a motion to approve the minutes from 5/12 of 26.
Motion. Support.
Got a motion and support. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. School reports. JKL Bawadi. Dr. Dale.
Milka Shap, good morning.
I'm sorry, hang on, somebody's computer volume is up, that's what the echoing is. If you can check on that, if you have a computer going, hooked to Zoom.
That's all right. Carolyn.
Okay, good morning. End of the year is finally here. We've had our kindergarten graduation. It went very well. Somehow we were able to get 70 kindergarten students to stand up on risers and sing their little songs, and they were amazing. 8th grade graduation also went very well. We had a new award for a student who did so much volunteering that we presented this award for new volunteers who do the same sort of volunteerism, running all of our AV equipment, so we trained them, and that was a lot of fun. And we had our 30th annual Jingtamuk and alumni dinner, and thank you to everybody who came and carried flags or just visited or came to the dinner. We really appreciate that. It was very well attended, and thank you for all your financial support for that as well. Today is field day, but it's probably going to be in the gym. That's our very first time in all the 27 years I've been at JKL, or 26, 27, I think, that we've had to move it inside. Somehow we've lucked out until this year. So we'll see how that goes. We also do a welcome 5th grade to middle school picnic because our 8th graders are now off. And it looks like we're going to have to do something different inside for that as well. So that's kind of a bummer. You got my fiduciary report, so you know all of those pieces. Do you have any questions for me?
Any questions for Carolyn? Seeing none? Thanks, Carolyn.
You're welcome.
How you been feeling? Good?
Yeah, better every day. I wish my hair would grow in faster, but it's just about long enough to maybe get some extensions attached.
Yeah.
So
I'm hoping mine slows down growing.
right now I take your hair over mine.
Yeah, I hear.
Thank you for asking.
Okay, moving down, Malcolm. Sandy.
Good morning. Glad to be here. It's hard to get out of my building when students are in session, but we are done now. So just a couple updates that kind of we're just proud of overall as a school. We ended our year with 8 middle school students, so that was new to us this year. 6 of the 8 are tribal students, so that was a little bit different, and still trying to figure out some programming for them and how to kind of weave them, transition them into our building, and still keep the culture of what we're doing, because middle school and high school are 2 different worlds sometimes. We have 26 full virtual Blue students, so that means we have 26 students that are full-time online students. They don't have to come into the building unless they get behind in their studies. Some of these students are hockey players that are in wherever they're playing at. Some are just local students, so they have the option to take our virtual Blue program from anywhere. And that's been going well. And then graduation, we had 26 graduates this year and 11 are tribal. We do have 2 tribal students that are returning. One will finish up this summer and then one will finish up that first quarter in the fall, just behind a little bit credits, and they'll get themselves caught up. We did have 4 of those that returned for a 5th year, so I always like to point out, because it's so hard when your graduating class is done to come back and finish that 5th year. And we see so much they get behind in their freshman, sophomore year. And it's really hard when their friends are walking the door and graduating, and those are the kids they've been with since kindergarten. And, sometimes they just go in shutdown mode and say, I'm not. So we had 4 that returned to graduate, so very proud of them. Also, I want to thank you guys for the honor cords. Love seeing them at graduation, love seeing them at Sioux High graduation. It's just one more symbol of how proud we are of our tribal students graduating. So thank you for sponsoring those. We appreciate that. We had 2 tribal students that represented us at the state level for alt ed. So they sit on a board with their peers, and that was a big learning experience for them, how to get along with other people, make decisions for the betterment of a group when you don't always see eye to eye. And it was interesting. They did a little podcast when they were done, and it was quite funny to watch. But they learned a lot from that experience. We had 20 of 37 completed college applications this year, and that's a big number for Malcolm. And we have 20 our juniors and seniors. 9 of those were tribal students. And then overall, we have 15 that plan to attend college in the fall. Don't mean they always will, but that's their plan right now. And 7 of those are our tribal students. And 11 of those 15 students have full tuition scholarships. And 6 of those are tribal students. So we have 6 right now that have a full scholarship that can, between, I think one's going to Grand Valley, and the others are going between Bay Mills Community College and Lake State. So very proud of that. Our focus has been a little bit on work-based learning, so we've been collaborating with Michigan Works and some programs we have through the ISD. Our work-based learning students have usually been our senior students, but we're focusing on bringing that through freshmen on up because they can earn some credits in a different way that will be very beneficial to some of our non-traditional students that are just really struggling with sitting in a desk and learning that way. So we're focusing on that for the upcoming year. Our graduation was absolutely wonderful, beautiful ceremony as always. Amy McCoy was our commencement speaker this year, and she was a Malcolm grad and gave a wonderful speech for our students, and talking about going from sitting in the chair of a Malcolm graduate to working on a interdoctoral program right now. And so just showing our students that it's possible to do those things and to get to that level. We recently took a field trip to the Sea Free. That was my first time popping in there. I've been down around the outside of the building, but not in it. What a wonderful extension for Lake State. Our kids did a field trip. They were dissecting fish. They learned a ton of stuff there, so that was fun. We did a golf scramble to help students that couldn't afford yearbooks, paid for yearbooks. That was put on by our senior advisor, and that went well at Tanglewood. Shout out to Jen Mitro and her crew up there. They did a wonderful job hosting us and making sure everything ran smoothly. And then we finished out the year with our final exams, and now it is closing out all things for the school year and planning all things for next year. So it really was a great year. And given, I don't know where we are with the end of the BIE contracts or ND funding that would possibly coming in, but that being said, if that is any, and I do want to thank you guys for the support. I think we started that contract in 17, 18, so, many, many years of support. And it's been a wonderful partnership. Our kids have experienced a lot from benefiting from those funds. Just whether it be learning hands-on through field trips, things that we just couldn't afford in the building. And so again, I know as we move forward, just if there's any funding or any partnerships that are available, we are 100% in, because I think it's been a wonderful thing. So, I think just supporting our tribal students in any building, in any unit is never a bad choice. So, miigwech.
Any questions for Sandy?
I have a comment.
Comment? Aaron?
I don't have a mic, but I've been, it's probably been 3 months now I've been saying this, but so with the inevitability of not being able to use BIE funds for Malcolm, we have a big hole, and I want to fill that hole, and so I suggest that we use 2% for that. So I guess we're waiting to have a big 2% conclave to talk about 2%, but I would like for us to get moving on this, because you need to plan for fall, And, 3 months is a long time to be proposing this, and nothing's come of it. So if we're not going to do it, then let's not do it, but I'm 100% supportive of it, so let's get moving on it, so.
Thank you. Is there anything I need to do from my end on that? Or you will let me know if that happens?
We'll let you know. The only thing I would encourage is, do you know the dollar amount that you can operate?
Oh,
I
yeah, I
mean,
can get that real quick. I
Yeah,
mean,
if you could just give us a budget. And
we're not big spenders, a little bit to get some field trips
Yeah,
and
but,
some
I
extras
mean,
and some of the
just if you
cultural
can
pieces. Yeah.
Maybe see what you really need and what you, is just a plus, and you can list it like that, and then we have a dollar amount that we can work from. But we'll let you know when that takes place.
Absolutely.
Any other questions? Kim?
I just have a comment. It's good to hear the numbers of the graduating students and the ones that are making it through to the higher level. So that's a really good thing, because I remember when it was alternative, not Malcolm at the time, but the numbers weren't good, and Aaron can remember that, so it has turned around a lot.
Yeah, and we still have a long way to go. We still have a high number just in the state, even the nation, of high school dropouts. And looking at my numbers, we still have a lot of Native students that are not graduating, more males than females. So again, looking back to way back when I got on Title VI committee 20-something years ago, you guys had just started that retention task force for figuring out, why they're not graduating. And, I just spent some time, we're doing a literacy initiative right now, and looking at our kids that just right out of the gate aren't getting a chance, right? Like their home environments aren't conducive to learning environments, and so they're coming in behind, just not getting that support at home. So, the more we can get educated adults, to realize the importance of early education, the better off we'll be. So love to see good wraparound programs that start, in the home.
Just another comment. I remember talking to one of the teachers that taught at Malcolm when you were in the old building, and she come from down in St. Clair Shores or somewhere, and she said she never knew the struggles that kids had to get through school. She was in a school where everybody supported you, your home life was good, and she thought that anyone that wanted to be a teacher should teach 1 year at an alternative school before they went into the mainstream school. So then they could feel that, is it empathy towards students that are struggling? And I mean, some of them, it just takes everything there is to get to school.
Thursday's academics is not our focus for students.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you, Sandy. Steph?
Hi, good morning. We'll start out with our Tribal Education Department grant. I had mentioned this last month. We did receive additional funding, and we opened a scholarship round last Monday. It's a first come, first serve. We have 160 available scholarships, and as of last Thursday, we were between 120 and 130, and we're kind of doing counts right now to see where we are at. The deadline for that was originally July 3rd, but due to the high influx, we may pull that early. But we are excited for the opportunity to at least be able to provide some to our students for the last semester. WIOA, we have 29 youth summer participants that have been selected and have started this Monday, yesterday, or set to start within the next week. So all of those positions have been filled, and we're thankful for the host departments that are taking on those youth. Elder employment. In this fiscal year budget, we had added a couple more positions, and we also had a couple recent resignations. So now we are going to have 2 elder employments in each unit to make it even. We have units 1, 2, 3, and 5 openings coming up. In the Marquette, we'll have that one at the Marquette Center, and they'll be mainly placed with our YEA to assist there in the hours that they're there with administrative needs, and then used as needed in other areas. So we found a solution for the Marquette area. So right now, we're working on the host departments in units 1, 2, 3, and we're going to get all of those posted here shortly for applications.
Lana?
What's the step, how is that gonna work out in Unit 2? What's gonna happen there?
Yeah, so right now Brenda Cadro is working on, so she puts out requests to all the department managers across the tribe on the government side and see who's interested. So I actually just checked with her a couple days ago, and she hadn't solidified yet exactly where that person was going to be in Unit 2. So I can follow up with her today, but she's working on that.
Okay.
But we haven't announced it. We'll let you know. Moving on to YEA, we're excited. We've been working with Cody Jodwin at Language and Culture for a weekend in July 24th and 25th for each of our areas. They're bringing some of their youth out to Clear Lake Camp to do a partnership for our youth out there with Cody, so that's going to be a fun weekend. Last month, all of May, our staff were finishing up the after-school program and then planning for our summer programming. Last month, the board had approved MOUs with Rudyard, Bark River Harris, and Lake Chanot to identify some of the ways that we can work together and the transportation barriers that we had. And we also have had the Sioux MOU, and all of our summer programming has started either yesterday or some areas are next week, depending on their operations. I believe all the flyers have been created, those have been approved and should be out, but I think besides Marquette, we're working still on some staffing issues there, getting some staff on board to fully operate. All of the other areas have their staff, and we have, some areas have wait lists, so we're doing good there on the participation. And then in our contracted positions, I had mentioned last month, due to not hiring them right away, so this is separate from our permanent employees, we have a couple contracted positions. We, in some areas, have now 2 that are able to help through the summer, rather than just 1, since we had some savings there from not hiring right away. So we're still very hands-on, working directly with the coordinators. We're actively still looking, we have temporary solutions this summer for transportation, but we've talked about this 100 times, and I'll say it again, I understand transportation is our biggest barrier in getting additional vehicles and figuring out how we can get those here, and we're on it right now, so we're working hard at that. Unity, I mentioned this last month, is coming up. Each tribal youth council did their selections with the students, and then after the students, I know Tyler had this question last month on the parent chaperones. So after the students were selected through their process through tribal youth council, all of those parents whose students are going received inquiry via email if they were interested to be a parent chaperone. We did, right now, with everyone's schedules, only had 1, I believe, out of Unit 5. That is going to be going on that trip with us. Right now, I believe we can take 18. We only have 14 students where it works with their schedules or parent schedules or jobs that can go. So we have 14 students, and we're working on travel, planning for that and getting that in, because that's coming up next month, so.
Hey, Steph?
Yep.
Aaron's got a question.
For volunteers, do they have to go through the background check process?
Yep, all of our volunteers the 1 is already in the process
You
right
only
now.
have 1?
We only had 1 because we take the parents, whose children are involved in going, and so we had 1 out of, we want to make sure it's the parents who are invested in the program going, so we've only had 1. We haven't submitted all the travel, so if we had any others interested, but we've reached out to all the parents whose kids are going.
And you
So,
have 14 kids, so you got 4 more slots for kids.
Yep.
So hopefully if we could get those 4 slots to come with parents that are willing to volunteer.
Yeah, and we're trying to, we're on that edge though where we got to get the flights booked and stuff, but if we can get, a couple more students and another chaperone, we have the funding through our grant, so.
Tyler?
Hey, I know a kid in Unit 4 in the Gwinn area that would want to go, and their parent might be available. Can I just have them contact you?
Yeah, they can reach out to me directly, and then I can work with them and Lisa.
All right, I'll get on that.
Okay.
Lana?
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, what's the breakdown? Is there,
So I'm waiting in case we get any tricklers to share that, but we have fully, because I don't have it fully solidified, but last I looked at it, there was 1 unit, and I don't remember off the top of my head, that didn't have any youth that could go. And usually we try to make it even, right? We try to take even from each area. There are a couple units that are more heavy, 4, I think in 1 unit there's 4. I'll get that list from Lisa, but it's not as even. I've really tried to do that this year, but we just weren't able.
did you
There-
say 1 unit doesn't have any?
I think there's 1 unit, I'll have to follow up with Lisa, that right now doesn't have any. It might be Unit 3. So I'll look at that, but I'll get the breakdown. But we try to make it as even as possible, but it's not always possible with everyone's schedules and stuff, but we
Oh,
don't.
I understand
Yeah,
that. But word of mouth, just like Tyler just said.
Exactly,
you know,
yeah.
Someone reaches out to him, that could be. So if there's slots available.
Yeah, we still have slots
Yes, sir.
available, so if you know of anybody that,
Yeah.
yep.
Go on.
Okay. Moving on, our summer interns started yesterday. They had their full-day orientation. We have 8 on board this year. It was a really, really good day. We have a lot of really great students with us again this year, really excited, eager to learn. They had a lot of culture into we added a lot more culture into our onboarding session yesterday, and Cody Jodwin came, talked for a while. Deb Pine came and did a talking circle with the students, and that was really impactful. She spent about probably an hour with them. We had one student learn how to say his name in Anishinaabe after and stayed with her, and so that's the type of experience we want to give them. Today is their first day on site with their site supervisors, and so far, knock on wood, everything seems to be going smoothly, so we're excited. And the next Tuesday, they come to all of you at the board meeting to meet you like they do every year to introduce themselves. In early childhood education, we had our federal review last month, and we actually already did receive the monitoring report, and there was no deficiencies noted. So that was, we're really happy about that and grateful again to all the staff involved in making sure that that was a success. On May 15th, I mentioned this last month, but I wanted to give the list to you of all the names of our students. 12 students who work in early childhood education who graduated at one time from BMCC with an early childhood credential. And again, that's super exciting and just shows, you know, how our partnership with BMCC and the Hope Grant and in our internal advancements and our employees receiving their education, it was really cool to see that many of our employees graduating. For higher education, right now, we have our 2026 to 2027 scholarship program open, and the deadline for that is July 3rd. We have consulted, or have a consultant doing the scoring, as I've mentioned before this year, to streamline the process, and that's been going well. We've been getting the essays to her in batches, and so we're doing them as we go. So at the end, it goes much faster, and the students get their scholarships, the recipients. Those announcements should go out. Again, these are the competitive ones with the essays. These will be chosen in beginning of August and be announced, and with the checks to hopefully get to the recipients mid-August, before the semester starts. Employee recognition. In May, we had several employees receive recognition for their years of service. We actually had 3 that had over 30 years of service. There's a picture there of everybody that was recognized in education that was there that day. Our 3 with 30 years were Jackie Minton, Wendy Nault, Mayer, and Don Fagan. So that was a really good day too, in showing how many years of service our program has. Special needs scholarship. So at your last board meeting, you had approved third-party revenue to fund 2 of the over 18 special needs scholarships, and YEA will be administering the under 18, or the 17 and under. I will be coming back to the board to rescind. There was a resolution in 2007 that established those 2 scholarships. I know Lana had a question on that at the last board meeting. It had established those scholarships with specific funding, so now I have to come back and just rescind the way that they were set up previously, and then we'll be establishing 2 new scholarships, one for the youth and one for over 18 with their specific funding sources, so you'll be seeing that come forward soon. The hope was to release those and all the instructions and the applications early June, or around now. So now it's just going to be postponed by a little bit till after we get to the board, but we'll still be on track to get the recipients their scholarships hopefully by September. The Youth Development Fund, in May, we funded 29 youth through this program. I do want to note that adult education, we had graduation there, and CCSS has until July 31st to get me the data that I can share with you on graduation and all any other data reporting from that area. And then closing out, just some, I'm trying to work on not just K through 12 school outreach, but really strengthening our relationships with universities and throughout the state. And so over the last month, I've met with Tara Modry-Lowe's through the University of Michigan. We talked about potential partnership opportunities with grants, community assessments, survey assistance. We've been talking about data for a long time. Some grants that we're looking at can help us develop data points and the tools to maintain those. as well as curriculum development, specific to our youth's needs. So specifically in YEA, how can we create curriculum based on drugs, substance abuse, suicide prevention? So it's really exciting. We have a grant that we're looking at right now that I'll be coming back to the board if we decide to do it, looking at how to reduce inequality in academic, social, and behavioral outcomes of young people ages 5 to 25. So I'll know more about that and come forward to the board, but we're excited to work further with the University of Michigan and then Michigan State. In May, I met with Larry Jocks and Eric Clark and Danny Fagan to discuss joint interests and partnerships for existing and future work with Michigan State University. I know Kevin Leonard was just at your board meeting, so I tuned in and watched that. And I do know Kevin through my work through CM TED. So we're looking to meet with the provost there and then meet more with Kevin. So we're trying to strengthen that relationship as well. And then LSSU, we already have some relationships there, but in May, I began preliminary discussions with Ashley Morkey. She is the Dean of College of Great Lakes Ecology and Education for future collaboration efforts. So we're looking at this month to meet again. So we're just trying to strengthen some of the post-secondary education partnerships, as well as still working hard at K through 12. So that's all I have.
Any questions for Steph? Seeing none, thanks, Steph.
Thank you.
Moving down, new business, anything? No? Financials, Bill?
Okay, on the financial front, one thing I did want to bring forward to this group that will come to a regular full board budget review and approval is we have to replace 2 sections of roofs at the building that's going through facilities. You'll see some information about that, but we had some extreme leakage from one of them this past year, and we had put a Band-Aid on it a couple years ago, and that's failing. So you'll be taking a look at the request for the replacement of those 2 roofs. We're still due for some funds from the Bureau. We're a little bit ahead of last year, but last year is catching up to where we are. So I'm anticipating that we're still due some funds before the end of the year, school year that is, the June 30th is the end of the JKL fiscal year. So hopefully things will get on track there and we'll be able to receive those funds in a timely manner. A couple of the projects are still ongoing. From an ARPA perspective, we have one project left, and that's the covered walkway. My understanding is it'll come next week to review where that stands and then hopefully finish that up before the end of the month. We had an issue with the pavilion over the winter when the snow all went away, so that needs to be worked on. That's the cement pad that the pavilion is standing on. So we'll get that squared away yet this summer. And what else? I don't have any financials for May yet because we're still entering in our expenses. I mentioned that when I sent out the April ones that our investment earnings are down. It's a function of our decreasing balance in the investment account, and then the returns are down. So we're not earning as much in the interest area as we have in the past. So that'll be detailed when I send out the May statements. And other than that, I think we're in pretty good shape.
Any questions for Bill? Aaron, you had a comment?
Yeah, I just have a general comment. I apologize for being late. So I just want to recognize our 30th anniversary. I'm wearing my shirt today. And we had a wonderful end-of-the-year powwow. Isaac was there. Austin was there. I was there. We had a lot of people from the past to come. Miss Susie was there.
Sue Palmer was
Sue
there,
Palmer
too.
was there. Yeah, and then later in the day, also, there was the 30th anniversary, and I don't know if you mentioned it, Dr. Dale, but The award that was plaque given to us by Casey Holder, our charter officer, our director, in honor of the 30th anniversary of the JKL Bawatang Anishinaabe School, Public School Academy. With deep respect for the JKL Bawatang community, we are honored to celebrate your legacy of leadership, cultural strength, and commitment to Indigenous education. Northern Michigan University. And also, I wanted to recognize Norma for her long-term service, because I think that she's got to have a record now, because I didn't realize she's just been around forever. So she was, I think, the third parent. The first one was Shonda, and then Jimmy Young, and then Norma. And also wanted to recognize everybody who had something to do with it. Bonnie Brady, who wrote the application, Bob Van Alstyne, who from the inside told us what to put in the application, and also Nancy, and I know a lot of people find her controversial, but when Nancy started at the school, we were the second worst charter in the state, and half of our teachers were not certified. We had no curriculum. We had no kids were beating the hell out of each other out in the yard. But she cracked down. A lot of people left because they refused to get the credentials. She was really a school marm, administrator type person. But she had the wisdom of hiring Carolyn as our curriculum director at the time. And she's heard this story, but when she was there, she presented to us one meeting to say that she was going to develop a testing curriculum. And kids will like it. They're like, oh, I don't know. But they do. And our kids are proud to take their test to demonstrate the quality of education that they get, so they're not fearful of it. But I want to recognize that leadership, your leadership, Carolyn, for bringing that to the table. And how many years now have you been?
I'm going into my 27th year.
That's crazy. So anyway, so it was a wonderful celebration, and kudos.
Hey, Aaron, I got 15
watch.
years going, so. I had 10 years as school board president, a year as a director on the board, and then 4 years as fiduciary.
So you got me beat.
Yeah. Any other questions? Hearing none, need a motion to go into closed session.
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion and support, all in favor, all opposed, we're in closed.
I just talked to Ryan.
With the amount to be added after the bill tells us the number.
Got a motion and support, all in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna do a roll call, right?
It's going to have
We
to go to
don't
the
know
board
the-
anyway.
But
Rob's got his hand up.
Rob?
I just wanted a little clarification from legal, because I thought that we were not responsible to pay anything back at this point. What's the liability?
So,
The money's for Malcolm for the expenditures that they incurred for 25, 26, Rob.
so we're
No,
not,
I understand that, but I'm asking Ryan what the difference would be, because
so
we were told it
basically,
wasn't gonna be, that we were liable.
so we're not paying back in that sense of the word that I think that you're using right now, Rob. So, Bill Conley has been using the ISEP funding to cover it, but we have to switch that internally and basically replenish those federal funds. So ultimately, the legal posture is you'll be using, if this motion passes, the interest earned, and you're just gonna be backfilling, using accounting principles, the money that was spent. You're not paying back the federal government or anything, you're just reallocating.
We're basically paying
just switching
ourselves
the
back.
fund. You're switching the fund source, basically. And back in February 16th, 2026, we did identify this as an option to use the interest. Legal did in a memo to the fiduciary committee. So this is, legal has no problems with doing this either, just to put that on the record. We identified this back in February as a possible fund source to use for the 25-26 school year. So you're just switching fund sources now is all you're really doing.
Okay, makes sense, thanks.
Roll call, please.
Michael? Sean?
Yes.
Lana? Kimberly Gravel?
Yes.
Kimberly Hampton? Yes. Tyler?
Yes.
Kimberly Lee? Yes. Larry?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Carried.
Motion approved. So it'll go to the big board. Okay.
Do you want me to put that on for next week? Will Bill be ready?
We'll have to do a budget mod.
Oh, okay, okay,
It'll have to go through that process.
okay.
But Bill will have it whenever you're ready. You'll get it on the agenda.
And I won't know the dollar amount until I get the final June bill from the school.
Yep.
So it will be, or kind of a retroactive budget mod.
Okay. Thanks, Bill. Committee comments? Not seeing any. Motion to adjourn. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Zoe.